been like, growing up as a child without your father?
So living without my father, I always felt like something was missing, and I always want to know, who he was. I could never find anything. Like within an hour or so, you look them up. I was like, I can't believe it. I just cannot. I was still in shock. Someone had did a testimony saying she could find anybody. She could find Jesus.
So she reached out to me and asked me for some information. She ain't gonna be able to find her because I ain't been able to find her. And in less than 2 hours, she called me.
So what you say your dad's name was? And I would give her my dad's name. She said, what's your mom's name? And I would give her all the information. And then finally she called me. She said, I got some news for you. And I said, what? And she said, your dad is not your dad.
Y'all, when I say this is like the best gift ever, I mean, I can't even put into words, how I feel. I mean, it's just so much that she has done for me and my family in these last couple of days till.
Hello there. Welcome back to The Incline. I'm your host, Crystal, and I am here with Tajuana and Sabana. The names rhyme. Oh, wow. Why are we here? Because Tajuana is a good friend of mine, and she's always helping in the background of The Incline. So now you get to see the behind-the-scenes production person that's always making those shows happen with me, right, Tajuana?
That's right.
But Tajuana has a special business model. It's called Kinnect LLC. And Tajuana, we have Sabana here, and you're going to explain to the Incline viewers what is Kinnect and how does it connect to Sabana?
Okay, well, hello everyone. Kinnect is a family DNA investigative company. And what I do is I specialize in helping people locate their biological parents as well as their siblings. Sabana is actually the recipient of a contest that I ran maybe 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
About 2 years ago, around Christmas time, I put a post out there and I was selecting individuals who are on the search for their biological family. And I selected her and her son. And so she's here today as one of my clients to share her experience with working with me and things of that nature. But I have been doing this free for the community for over 12 years. And over the past 3 years, I actually converted it into a business.
Is that not cool? Like a passion into a business model. And that's what we want to share on The Incline, right? Is to show the viewers how you can take your passions and monetize them, right? Right here on The Incline, Tajuana is showing you how to do that. Sabana, tell us about your experience. Like when you participated in the contest, like how did that happen?
Wow. So I saw the post
online
and I told her my story, and not even a month later, she found I had to take a test, a DNA test, right? So you have to do all the spitting, stuff like that, right?
The swab, right?
Yeah. No, you have to do it in a tube thing, right?
Yeah.
The one we had. And it went in, and we were going on a girls' trip to Aruba. I think we were going to Aruba, and she was like, I found him. And I'm like, what?
That calm.
No, I wasn't that calm. I was like, my heart was like pounding like that. And I was like, oh, she's not telling the truth. She didn't find him, But she did. She found my sister first.
So how long did it take? Like from the time that you sent the specimen back?
When she got the information from the specimen, it was like, boom. The longest part was waiting for the results from the DNA.
So the first step is they come in and take the DNA test. So Sabana and her son came and took the test at New Black Wall Street.
Ah, okay.
So during that session there, they just spit in the valve, it ships it off, and it takes about 6 to 8 weeks for the results to come back. So when the results came back, go through the list of family members, and I saw someone that just stood out like a sore thumb. I'm like, okay, this person has to be a half sibling or a full aunt. And so I just started digging a little deeper, and I know she wanted to get these results back before she went on this trip. She's like, Tajuana, if you could find it before that, I'd be so happy.
Yeah.
But yes, so the day that the results came in, I just went to work. I started reaching out to the family, and then we identified who her father was and confirmed everything. And then I believe he took the test, the DNA test next.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
was he okay? I was gonna say, so Tajuana, your business Kinnect is established at the New Black Wall Street Market in Stonecrest, Georgia, by the way. So come by and see Tajuana there. You can also check her out online if you're interested, because she has a great business model. But Sabana, like, this is emotional, right? Not only for you, but now you're connecting in hopes that he will also be okay with connecting, right?
Well, Dad already knew. I call him Dad, right? So Dad, or my sister's father,
Yes.
he already knew about me.
Okay.
Okay, but he explained to me, and he apologized. Back then, they didn't have what we have now, social media and all this, the internet and all that kind of stuff to keep in touch, locate a person. So the address that he had, he was in the military, left, shipped somewhere else. He lost my mom's information. So, but he knew my mom was pregnant, but he still lost the information. So he apologized. I forgave him. You know, I don't harbor any ill feelings or anything towards my father. But I was looking for my dad. Well, Tajuana helped me find my dad, but not knowing that I had 6 other siblings. So it was like, I was just happy locating my dad, not to know that I have an older sister, and then I have 4 younger brothers. So that was the icing on the cake.
How has that been? Has that been emotional for you and them? I mean, how did you?
My sister, because she's the oldest, she's very protective of father and the younger guys. Yeah. And so I speak with her all the time. Every day we speak. When I went to New York to meet my dad, she was there, you know, checking me out, making sure, you know. But she was a little hesitant on the phone.
I was going to say, she was like doing some investigation herself. Right? It's like, wait a minute, who is this?
Right, right. And so I was scared to make the call. So Tajuana made the call.
Oh, you made the call?
Yeah, I called first. Yeah.
Ah, so what do you say? Like you call the person that you're looking for and you say, hey, this is Tajuana from the Kinnect. What?
Because when I bring on a client, the last thing I want them to do is reach out to a family member that may not accept them.
Right.
So the first thing I want to do is I call them, I have that conversation, I make sure I have the right person, I make sure they're in the right mental space before I connect them with the client. And so her sister, OMG.
Hi, sister.
So her sister, you could tell that she's the oldest. You can tell that she's very protective. And she did state that for years, they have been taking tests, DNA tests, trying to see if there's other siblings out there, because they knew there was more out there. But she was drilling me. She basically like, you will find out more when I reach out to the family. But in the back of my mind, I'm working for my client.
Sure.
So I give you a short period of time to do that before I call another family member. So I love reaching out to the family instead of my client, mainly to protect them, but also because I have no emotional attachment.
And you're good at it though, Tajuana, because I know Tajuana. I've gotten to know her quite well, and it's in her personality too. She's not offensive to who she's talking to. She's respectful to the person on the other end, right? With some sympathy of how they could possibly be processing all the information as you're talking about it, right? I mean, that's just a real thing for all of us. Anybody's phone who rings and you're like, hello, connect. We have a client that's looking for you. It's like, who is this client? So I could see why your sister.
To that point, I never say that I was hired. I always address the family as a best friend of my client. I never say client. So when I reach out, I say, hey, I'm Tajuana. I'm helping my good friend locate her biological family. she's not comfortable because she's real nervous to reach out herself. So I'm helping her out. She's been
But-
searching for
and to
years.
that
So they
point-
don't see me as an outside company.
Yeah. And to that point, right, you actually make it your business to befriend your clients, which is unique in your service. You know, you want to get to know who is Sabana. Am I representing the right person? I need to speak for her, right? Sabana, how did Tajuana make you feel? Were you comfortable and secure with knowing that she was representing you well?
Oh, most definitely. I know Tajuana.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so this
When
was,
you get to know her, it's like, I know her.
Yes, she's very friendly, and she's
Yeah.
what they call like a servant leader. Like
She is.
she offers her service beyond what you can probably imagine. Yeah, it was very emotional. I think we had, when we were online, when everybody was online, I just like started crying because it was just like overwhelming, you know, with different type of emotions. And then I met my brother. I have a brother that lives here. I mean, not even 30 minutes away. Didn't even know, you know, and he's fine as I don't know what. And, you know, he could have been my boyfriend, you know, because he's my type, you know. So, but anyways.
He's family.
Yeah, he is family, and he has a family. But yeah, he did an awesome job. An awesome job. Yeah.
Wow. So what's happening now in your life with your family?
Okay, so she found him in January. I went out there and see my dad. Let me see, went to Aruba, then went to Jamaica. After Jamaica, we went to Washington State. Then I flew from Washington State to see my dad. That was like in April, May, maybe. April, and then I stayed there for like 5 days. Me and my daughter and my sister was there. Met some of my cousins in New York. You know, I don't really like New York, but you know, I have family there. It's just too cold for me. After New York, we went to Texas together as a family and met some of my family that came from Panama. One of my cousins had just turned 50. And then in August, we had a mini family reunion, and some of my both of my brothers came. We did an Airbnb with dad and the grandkids and the great grands. And now we were supposed to be having a family reunion this year, but a couple of us are going to Panama with our father so I can meet some more of the family.
Wow. So has meeting dad been everything you thought it would be? Emotionally, mentally?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think because I'm older, you know, I think if I was younger, it would have been more emotional, I guess, for me. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy.
Sure.
I'm really, really happy. But I think because of the person that I am, you know, I'm just happy that I got to meet him because, you know, when you get to a certain age, you start declining, right? And I see that in my father. So I just want to make sure that I am here for him like I am for my mother because they're older now. But I'm happy. I'm very
I know
happy.
sometimes it's a mixed emotion. You know, sometimes people harbor the fact that they feel that they've missed out on certain things with their parents as they were growing up. So.
Well, I didn't miss. I don't harbor any ill feelings towards him. You know, because when we spoke, I got the part that, you know, and he apologized. You know, from not being there for me, but you know, my stepfather was there for me and everything. My mom, she's an awesome woman. You know, a strong Black woman. So you know, it just when I met him, you know, it was like I cannot go back to a time and space that I didn't have. I can just start from here and see where we go from here.
Tell the Incline viewers about the experience with your son.
You want to start first?
Yeah.
Let me start. So just give you a little history about myself.
Yeah.
So I was overseas.
Okay.
I was young. You know, no shame, but you know, when you're young, you do things and you just live free and careless sometimes. So yeah, when I left Germany, I was pregnant. And when I reached back out, the soldier was no longer there. So, I just over the years just overcompensated, just try to be everything that he needed to be,
Right.
as a single parent. And as he got older, he was like, I want to know my dad. He said it several times, like, yeah, okay, but I didn't know where to start.
You knew this was coming, though, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
As a mom, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what to do, where to start, because all I knew was I was at a dead end going back, looking overseas, because they had closed a lot of bases down. So people were shuffled different places, Then there was the Gulf War and the, anyway, it was 2 Gulf Wars, whatever the names were. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know if that person had expired, at one of those wars. So when Tajuana ran the contest, she did it for myself and she did my son. And I'll let her explain her part, and then I'll come back in and explain.
So how did that come about, Tajuana? This is a unique situation. So explain to the Incline viewers how this came about.
Okay, so I worked both of their cases at the same time.
Right.
What was very unique about this is that she didn't have a name at all.
Oh.
For the father of her son. So I had to strictly do this with DNA. And so when they both came and completed the DNA test, the results came back around the same time, maybe a day or so apart. And so located her father, and then I found a half uncle under her son's platform. And I wasn't sure if it was a half uncle or a first cousin, but then that's where the skip tracing comes in. So I had to find a phone number, email addresses from all the close relatives I could find, and I reached out. And so once I reached, I don't want to say his name, but but I spoke with the uncle, and we had a great time.
If you're watching,
gadget, just like me, and so he was like, yes. And these are questions I had because I knew Germany.
Okay.
I knew that the father was stationed during a particular year time frame there. And so the questions I had for the half brother, well, his half uncle, who would be the half brother of his father, the questions I had from him is, do you have a brother that served in the military that was in Germany during this time frame? And it was a yes, I do.
You were like, whoa.
And so we hit it off. He showed me pictures of him. He instantly got his brother on the line. We did a Zoom,
mm-hmm.
and we ended up surprising your son.
Mm-hmm.
We tricked him into getting on the Zoom. He thought it was an update call on how things were going. So we got on the Zoom. We actually had his father
on the Zoom.
And it was
Sabana.
Amazing. But yeah, so he ended up with a brand new grandfather and a father and an uncle. Siblings.
Well, a whole family. A whole family.
He has 3 sisters.
Yeah, I think
all sisters.
It's 6 girls, I think. No, I could be wrong. Okay.
Well, 4. Okay. There's 4, but one's that he adopted. But for Omari, he was like, really?
Right.
He said, nah. He smiles all the time. Yeah. And funny thing is that Omari looks more like his uncle than his daddy. And I remember when you had shown me the pictures, and I'm like, I don't know that person, because I was young, and I'm like, you have to show me your older picture. I mean, when he was younger, to try to see. I'm like, I don't know. And then everything started coming back. I said, yeah, I know him. Okay. And so he came up and met. They met and everything. And then when I saw them side by side, it just one's just bright and one's just dark. I mean, the same smile, the same everything. And I was just like, really? So, and the funny thing is that he only lives in Jacksonville.
Which is not that far away.
It's not. And we used to live in Savannah, which is like 45 minutes away from Jacksonville. All this time, he was just like a stone throw away.
So have they been able to come together?
Oh, yeah.
Past the Zoom?
Absolutely. Yeah. Came up here. He met my son and the grandchildren, myself, my mom, my husband. We had a good time, wow. But, Amari is at the age, Amari is going on 30. So
Okay.
I don't need to be in that picture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just between him and his father.
Sure.
You know.
So you all are having similar experiences. You being, you know, an adult meeting your father, and him being an adult meeting his father.
Yes. What I want to say to that is I didn't want him to go. I'm grateful, first of all, because I don't want him to go and be like, turn around, he's almost 50 and just not meeting his father. Right. I mean, if I can go back, I would have loved to have met my dad a long time ago, you know, so I could have got some of the great years of his when he was younger, you know, like my siblings did. And I just didn't want that for my son. And so when we had won the contest, and I was like, you know, because he deserves that, you know, to get to know his father and his family and his other siblings. You know, he has a couple of nieces and one nephew and all that. You know, there's more to him based off of his dad's side, instead of just all knowing about what's going on my side of the family.
Sure. Yeah. It is really a cool. Tajuana, how does all of this, like, I can see you in the background because I know your personality. I can totally see.
So when I'm working these cases, number one, I stay up all night. And what I was sharing with her a little earlier,
night owl for sure.
I'm a night owl. I'm not a big note taker. I process a lot here. So when I follow leads, I like to see them through in the moment.
Okay.
And so what was cool about this is, you know, there's a stigma stating that, you know, men don't want to take care of their kids and things of that nature.
Right.
And I haven't run across a lot of that. The beauty of their scenario was that he didn't even know he had a son out there. He has all girls. So the man was jumping up with joy to find out that he had a son. So to bring a son to him and for your son to now know his father. And
I was thinking about that.
And it does feel like friendships during the whole process, you know, talking to his dad, talking to his uncle, talking to the other family members. It's a real down earth type conversation. And they never, and I do know Savannah.
Right.
So friendship's gonna be there regardless.
Absolutely.
But with any client, my number one goal is to get close enough to them where they feel comfortable sharing information.
Which I definitely think is unique. I do. I think, you know, Kinnect is unique in the fact that the owner really does care. Like it's bigger than just, you know, a business model for you, but you actually care. And to the point of, you know, there's a lot of stereotypical stories out there that families or fathers don't want to meet their children, you know, especially in our communities. We hear that a lot. So it's refreshing to hear you confirm, right? And Savannah too, that these men wanted to embrace their kids, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's really a great thing. Well, I appreciate both of you all being on the Incline. Savannah, you had a friend that came with you too as support.
Yes. Hey, bestie.
She's waving behind the camera. So we really appreciate it. We want to inspire other families. If you're looking for family members, mothers, fathers, siblings, right? Check out Kinnect. Tajuana, you want to give them your email address or your website address?
Yes. My website is KinnectLLC.com, and Kinnect is spelled KINNECTLLC.com. On all social media platforms, it's Kinnect LLC. Again, that's KINNECT. And the business number is 770-999-9835. And I'm also stationed at the New Black Wall Street Market.
Yes.
And the workshop.
And the workshop.
So really excited about that. I'm doing my first ever workshop in person. So during this workshop on May 28th at the New Black Wall Street Market, I'll be teaching people for absolutely free how to locate people on their own. But at the end of the workshop, if you're interested in hiring me, we'll do DNA testing on the spot and move on from there.
We love it, right? We love it. On the Incline. Kinnect on the Incline with Tajuana.
Yes. That's so cool.
Thanks. I appreciate it, ladies. This has been really great. And we'll see you the next time. Bye.
It's pretty simple. All I ask is that once you hire me, don't do nothing. What I do now is when I do the DNA test.
Excited. I'm getting excited because, you know, while he's growing up, he just never asked. He really didn't. So when that moment came, it was like, you know, and so she was really excited. She was emotional. Then she told me that you were going to also help her find her dad. So that brought a whole nother component into it.
A lot of his, what is it called? Hereditary?
His characteristics.
Okay, I have. And I'm just like, how do you have this and you've never been around this man?
So it was like her being a mom and wanting her son to find his dad, then her being a little girl and the innocence of her finding out about the other half of her, you know.